Today's edition of the 600 Seconds of Trading. My name is Alejandro Zambrano, Chief Market Analyst with TradeCaptain.com. So we should be up and running. You can just write to me in the chat box, just a simple good morning or something like that. Vasilios is in. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And welcome to yet another episode of 600 Seconds of Trading. Before we start, as always, I need to stress, as you know, that trading financial markets unfortunately is risky. We can make a lot of money, but we can also lose a lot. Look at crypto markets lately. You know, they've been had an amazing 2017 and 2018 in general. I think they gave back maybe 60-70% of the returns. Now they are on their way back up. So you can make money, but also lose. There's a little link here, risk disclosure statement. Read that if you're not aware of what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's begin. So, Euro versus the USD, the market is still trapped in a range between 121.55 and 124.78, which is this level up here. And from a trading perspective, when the market is trading sideways like this, as you can clearly see here on the daily chart, it doesn't make too much sense to actually do anything. You just want to wait for either the bullish breakout or the corrective move and buy on a dip. Because the price has been trading sideways here since, this is levels in the beginning of February. So since February, really, we're trading sideways. So the market could trade sideways for another month or two. Never know. But take out the high, things get excited. Bounce from the low, that is also a potential setup. There are, however, other and better setups if you want to sell dollars. Because when you trade a euro dollar, especially if you buy, then you're selling dollars. And yesterday I did provide you guys with some updates. We did take a look at the pound versus the USD. And here's the pound dollar. Here's the 2018 high. And the market actually pushed above that level this morning. And that could potentially cause the pound dollar to head a little bit higher, maybe to 144. But I think we're still better off waiting for a pullback. I don't know if you remember, but I did say when we're trading up here, I said the same. Actually, I turned bullish here. And the market moved up to the profit target levels. And then it continued to gain for a few days. And then I said, well, I don't want to be buying up here. This is a high. People sell at highs. So I said, wait for the market to move down. And then I spent a few days here. But eventually it moved all the way back up. And when we touched 42, then yeah, it was time to book profits again, unless you wanted to keep it. And now we're in a very similar situation. The market has rallied. We were buying down here. We're not going to be buying up here. Even though, of course, some of the markets go parabolic like here, right? You're just gain and gain and gain, but doesn't make it right to buy. So here as well, I think up and then probably down and then up again. And you have also other setups as well. You have crude oil prices as well, which are really interesting. And here as well, we actually talked about buying down here and for this to head to the upside. That's something we talked about on a daily basis here in this market update, and we went all the way up to the highs. Now from this highs, I think probably down, and then from lower levels, it makes sense to look to get involved. You can read more about it in the technical analysis section. Just click up here and you'll be able to read my stuff and as well stuff from my colleagues like Yuri. Now let's continue with the price of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin prices, this is a daily chart. As you know, they turned bullish. We said that on a break to 74.80, 75-ish, this market could turn bullish. So the market took out the high, and if you're long on the back of that, you should be in a bit of a profit. And what is interesting is the fact that the price bottomed out just next to the February low, which strengthens the case that we're going to have maybe a stronger pullback. If you ignore this section here, then you can say, well, this is just sort of a sideways market, right? And we know what happens in a sideways market. The price bounces from support, then tries to go to the middle, and sometimes goes to the other side of the range. So that's sort of my preferred setup. I want to see this market head to the upside. And in the short term, unless you bought at the breakout, I think it makes more sense to wait for a corrective move. So first things first, take a Fibonacci from this low, and right now this low is the April low, and also happens to be my trend defining low, and it's the 64.19 level. And I think traders that are not long already, they're going to wait for a corrective move and then up to the upside. But there's really probably a 50% likelihood, if not slightly higher, that this market might just go higher and that this level down here could act as some sort of a stop level. To fully disclose, I'm long Litecoin, I'm long Ethereum, and I'm long Ripple. And Ethereum, I already bought that last week on Monday, I think it was. So I'm already well in position. And sometimes you just need to get in early. And here was one of those situations. In here, that will be the best. And the way I'm dealing with it is that I think I'm gonna give this few more days to trade to the upside. Obviously, if it doesn't, it go back down again. I'll be back. I didn't buy Bitcoin specifically, but sort of the entry levels are very similar. So if it goes back down, I'll be back at break even, maybe even a little bit of a loss. But I suspect this market can head to the upside. But for now, here, sort of the only new entry I would engage with would be buying here on that pullback. The alternative again. Work with this little section here. The alternative, the third option, is just a break. If a break here, you probably get an opportunity to scalp to maybe 8,800, then maybe down a little bit lower, and then we'll see if it hits the much higher. If we trade up to 10,000, that wouldn't really surprise me. I would love to book profits about 10,000, maybe even 11,000. Here are crude oil prices, and I showed you that you have the article, and you have as well this, which is obviously the latest update. And very straightforward. We're dealing with crude oil. Crude oil likes the big levels. It doesn't like the small levels in between. This is 61.71. The trend is bullish above this level. You just need to take a simple fib from the low to the high. This is a 50% correction, 61.8% correction. And down here, I think traders are probably quite keen on buying. And same way we did here. And then the market probably going to head to the upside. Doesn't have to head to the upside, but we'll most likely try to do that. And maybe trade as high as the November 28, 2014 high. Here's the price of gold. In gold is utterly boring. There's not much happening here right now. A little bit like the euro, we can work with the break to the upside or buying the dip as we did down here. We said look to buy dips here, and that worked out fine. Maybe we'll do that again when the market goes down. You want to watch this level. This is let me see, it's the 1,320 level. $1,321. Very straightforward. Just need to be patient. Trading the markets is like working with nature. Sort of just needs to. It's not always going to provide, and we need to be patient for the market to provide. Really, set up our little traps, our little setups. Wait for price to touch the setups, and execute when we reach those levels that we want the market to reach, and then a lot of waiting. Okay, here's the DAX. DAX took out the high here. That will be an entry. We're pretty much back at break even if you're trading on the back of that idea. The idea was take out this level. This is the key. As I said, if we correct the downside, we're probably gonna see traders buying, and I'm still sticking with that idea. I think I just want to be bullish. Want to give this a little bit more time. Hopefully this heads to the upside. Something as well I discussed in general over the last few weeks is sort of the move higher in stock markets in general. Like I published several setups, and I'm long the Nasdaq 100. I'm long the Dow Jones. I didn't publish too much last week. Here's a DAX one, but anyway, I'm long all these markets. So far it's looking good. What I like to do, I do my analysis, do my setups, and then I just wait for the market to sort of see if they go along with my setup. So this is the Dow, and I had my trend defining level here at 452. Everybody was just crying wolf, this market is bad, this market is gonna tank. a lot of different arguments, and yeah, maybe they were right. But when we get involved in any sort of speculation, what this is, it's all about finding some good statistical method to sort of align things. Try to see past the noise. Don't extrapolate too much. People love to extrapolate, like people love conspiracy theories and things like that, and very complicated models of something that, to be honest, people have no clue. Like if you're in business or dealt with any people, things just arise. Everybody's optimizing for themselves, and sometimes things align, sometimes don't think align. But at the end of the day, we're not really as sophisticated as I think people would like to make it believe. And down here, I was looking at this, and I really like the opportunity, but not enough to sort of go long myself. I did buy here, I did buy here for these moves, but here I waited, took out that high, and the market is heading to the upside now. So I'm all good with that, and I think these higher moves in the Dow and the Nasdaq will most likely spill over to the German DAX as well. It doesn't have to. The German DAX in general is just so limited by sort of the gains in the euro that is really hurting this market to trade to the upside. Okay, we don't have any questions or nothing, so we're gonna wrap things up. I want to thank you all for joining. Don't forget to hit the like button, click here, and you can subscribe. There's a little section here. You can click on subscribe. You can also click on like. Please do so. If you like it, click on like. If you watch it, click on like. It's always very helpful. And that's it. Vasilios, have a great day, sir, and everybody else that is watching, and everybody else is gonna watch the recording of this presentation. Thank you.